on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. Yes, this is a new setup. It is what it is. We are talking today. Well, we are starting our 30-day, 1-month Raw challenge, which will be me going and watching Monday Night Raw for the first time in several years on the USA Network Live. Now, I will say that since it's been a very long time, as a little bit of a background on this, I have not watched Monday Night Raw regularly for a number of years because quite frankly, I wasn't really enjoying spending 3 hours watching Raw, and it was a slog and the product wasn't what I wanted to see. But given the fact, once again, there's a change in WWE. It seems to happen every year, but now the change is Vince McMahon is out as everything, and Triple H is now in as the creative director. I liked the black and gold NXT back in the mid 2010s, so I decided to give Monday Night Raw a new shot. Now, a little backstory on me personally, where I'm coming from. I have watched Monday Night Wrestling from WWE before there was a Monday Night Raw. I used to be primetime wrestling way back in the day when I was a kid, and staying up late on Monday nights, and my mom yelling at me for staying up so late watching wrestling on Monday nights. Then when it became Monday Night Raw in 93, I pretty much did not miss almost, I would say I watched almost every single week. I may have missed one or two since 1993 all the way up until about 2015, 2016. And I totally get it. I totally understand it. For a lot of people, it's hard to stop watching it, because I remember when the first week that I stopped watching Monday Night Raw, it was really strange. It was like I didn't know what to do with myself. It was Monday, and it was like there's just all this free time. So I started going to the movies. I started doing other things and getting involved in other projects, and now it's not so much a weird thing for me not to be watching Monday Night Raw. In fact, I'm kind of used to it now. But we're going to see if I can get back into it, at least every so often, watching full episodes of Monday Night Raw. I will watch them all throughout this month, and I will let you guys know at the end of the month, at the end of August, what I feel about going back to watching WWE weekly television. But now let's get into it now. Let me get to my review of Monday Night Raw from this past week on the USA Network. The Triple H era begins in WWE. So we start off Monday Night Raw with Becky Lynch coming to the ring. She's cutting an impassioned promo about how she now knows who she is, and she kind of lost herself, and she kind of admitted she's been a jerk for the past several months. There was a lot of this on this night, and she kind of did the same thing, which, again, that's kind of a little, to the old booking there, a little, yeah. So, but she goes on and says that no man is going to define her. She will define the man. So a little bit more shade there, kind of thrown to Vince. I don't know if this is going to work, because I'm not 100% sure that Vince is never coming back. So some of these people might be eating their words in about a year or two. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But I did like this promo from Becky. It turned her face. The big time Bex thing was okay, but the man is what we want to see. And Bianca Belair comes out, and she and Becky kind of buried a hatchet, this year-long feud that they've had. WWE doing some kind of long-term booking, I guess you could call it that. So Becky tells Bianca to hold the fort down. She goes back, and Bianca's in the ring, but then soon we see the attack in the backstage, which was done a little bit better than it usually is. I noticed these slight subtle changes that are going on in WWE. Bianca runs back, twirling her hair. She runs back, which is kind of funny. But this is, again, to write Becky Lynch off. Sky Kylie attacked poor Becky here, and Becky is obviously they needed to write her off the show. I don't really think you needed to do that, though, but it does help give heat to the new faction in the women's division. This will lead to a lot of the women's division being highlighted tonight, especially around these women, along with Asuka and Alexa Bliss, who has now joined sides with Bianca Belair, and it's them against Bayley and Sky and Dakota Kai, and they had several matches on this night. The Io Sky, and I will say this, Io Sky and Bianca Belair, man, they gave them a lot of time. Those women killed it in this match. Had a smosh finish, but the smosh finish didn't really bother me too much, because the building tension that they built throughout the show to these groups of three women facing off and then finally just going at it in the ring, it worked really well. It was set up and executed very well. So as far as the women's division tonight was concerned, I gotta give it an A+. Seth freaking Rollins, everybody's favorite wrestler, certainly mine, came to the ring And yeah, he's still doing that stuff. But, you know, the Street Profits came down and they cut a pretty funny promo. This is usual WWE standard stuff, though. The one good line that Montez Ford had was that Seth, even though he was mocking him for being big losers against the Usos, they were like, yeah, didn't we beat you for the tag team titles? And didn't you get your butt whooped by Cody, who had one boobie? You knew he was going to hear that eventually. So Montez Ford they do the rock, paper, scissors. The Street Profits do. Ford kind of just cheats and grabs the referee and runs to the ring so he can get the match with Seth Rollins one-on-one to kind of improve his profile. Of course, the rumors have been going around that the Street Profits eventually will be breaking up. Even Seth Rollins alluded to it in his promo. He had a banger of a match with Seth Rollins on this night. So I will say this, the wrestling content was a lot better than I remember it from the clips and stuff that I've been watching of WWE over the years. On the show, too, we also had the United States Championship getting some shine. Now, this is probably the most obvious change that I saw that I liked from the new Triple H era is for the longest time, people have said that the WWE's championships are just props. They don't mean anything. WWE doesn't care about booking them to mean anything. And we are seeing from straight out the gate, they are trying to make the United States Championship a thing of value again. It's kind of a reset on the U.S. title. They went and had this great video package highlighting all the U.S. champions way back from the old NWA days, the Crockett days, WCW, all the way through it, becoming into the WWE and mixing it in with various champions from Bret Hart to Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat and on and on and on and on. They didn't mention Magnum TA though, which I think they should have. But that's a nitpick though. But that was a great video package. All the way up to the current champion Bobby Lashley, who now will be waiting to see who his next challenger is going to be, as they're going to have 2 3-way matches and then one deciding match to determine who's going to face Lashley for the U.S. title. So this is kind of like a mini tournament essentially, and in the G1 season, these mini tournaments are actually a pleasure for me to see on WWE TV. You had one where you had AJ Styles against Mustafa Ali against The Miz. Now The Miz, who was selling a rib injury from the match with good old Logan Paul at SummerSlam, would spend a lot of time outside the ring while Mustafa Ali and AJ did a lot of work. And I will say the finish of this match was absolutely phenomenal. Mustafa Ali hits a 360 whatever splash. He hits a higher rotation splash on The Miz, and immediately AJ is right there to pick him up off The Miz, put him into the Styles Clash, and land the Styles Clash with Ali on The Miz to get the win. That was a great finish. And again, another sign that, you know, some of the freedom and creativity might be coming back to WWE's in-ring work. The other one featured Dolph Ziggler and, well, we're still calling him Shorty G. I guess that's all over with. Chad Gable and Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa getting a big push now. Ciampa, for some reason, aligned with The Miz. I missed that whole storyline because, again, I usually don't watch until this week. I haven't been watching WWE Weekly TV that often. So I'm not sure why Tommaso Ciampa is teamed up with The Miz. I'm sure you guys can let me know in the comments box below. But Ciampa performed very well. You can tell by this point of the night, though, this and the second women's match, the crowd was getting a little bit tired. They were jacked for the first hour or so, but they started wearing down a little bit. This match didn't get the crowd reaction that I'm sure that these guys hoped that it would have gotten. All these guys are great performers, though, and we've seen 6 great performers in all of these matches doing really good stuff. And Ciampa wind up getting the win. A little bit of chicanery there, but he does get the win, and then moves on to face AJ Styles later in the night. Him and AJ have a pretty good match, but ultimately it winds up at the end with Tommaso Ciampa beating AJ Styles with the assistance of The Miz a little bit, and becoming the new #1 contender for Bobby Lashley's United States Championship. That's a new matchup in WWE that I hadn't thought about, but because Ciampa versus Bobby Lashley is not like on a dream match list or anything, but it's an intriguing clash of styles to see how Ciampa's viciousness and chicanery can deal with Lashley's sheer power. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. The main event saw the Usos taking on the Mysterios, the Raw Tag Team, and Unified Tag Team Champions, I guess they are. And this was pretty damn good. I gotta say, Mysterio was on fire on the night. Dominic did what he needed to do to try to get himself over. Everybody else was trying to help get him over. The Usos are one of the best tag teams of all time, and they are just proving it every single week. Unfortunately, the match at SummerSlam wasn't as good as this one. I enjoyed this match better than I enjoyed the Street Profits match at SummerSlam. It did wind up with the Usos retaining, which then led to Judgment Day coming out and beating up on the Mysterios because they have a continuing feud with them, which then led to Edge running into the ring to make the save. But we had a little bit of drama there. Edge goes to spear the living snot out of everybody in Judgment Day, but thanks to Rhea Ripley, who is playing her part very well in Judgment Day, she actually pushes Dominic in the way, so Edge spears Dominic, causing some chicanery there. That was another clever, creative thing that I was like, oh, that's not the usual boring nonsense they pull. And now, even though it was shown on the replay that Mysterio saw the thing, Mysterio was kind of confused, but does that create some dissension between the Mysterios and Edge in this war against Judgment Day? Can the mind games Finn and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley play have an effect? I'm kind of intrigued by it. It's not really lighting me on fire, but overall, that was a nice little wrinkle to it. It's a one we've seen before, but the fact that they put a wrinkle into this instead of just having the usual schmodge ending or something double count out, double disqualification, or everybody runs in and whatever the crap is, and adding that little wrinkle in there, I thought was a nice touch. Overall, not bad. Not great, but it was better than what I remember from several years ago when I used to watch Monday Night Raw on a regular basis. I love the women's stuff, like I said. The Edge promo was pretty good. Becky's promo was pretty good. No silliness. No 24/7 stuff. No fart jokes. No people peeing on themselves. None of that kind of usual silly nonsense, which is what turned me off to watching Monday Night Raw and SmackDown before. So it is a good sign. I will give it a thumbs up. For the first week, it is a win for WWE. And as far as it getting me to want to watch it every single week, not there yet, but we'll see. Again, we got another couple episodes to go for the rest of the month, and we'll see, again, by the end of the month, whether or not I'm going to be adding WWE Monday Night Raw back into my weekly viewing schedule, which is, kind of loaded because I don't watch a lot of TV, so there's a few things I watch. It's a lot of time for me for 3 hours. It was a slog. I will say that too. It was a slog to get through 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. 3 hours of any wrestling show is a slog, and to do it every single week, I don't know, but again, we'll get back to that later on. But thank you guys for checking out this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. And be sure to share this video on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you talk about pro wrestling and sports entertainment. I will see you guys back here again next week as we will be continuing our 30-day Raw challenge. And until then, have a nice day and be safe.